Yellow YouTube. It is Simply iLogic, and this is what you guys have been waiting for so long, most likely. What if Deku had the rinnegan? Now, before we get into the video, I have to get into some things. Or basically Deku's backstory. So, because I might have confused a lot of you, which I know I did, which I can own up to my mistakes if they're like huge, but if they're small, I'll probably be like, you're wrong, I'm right, but yeah. So, if you guys don't understand, Deku, basically his family, they have a quirk which is known as a Sharingan. Now, Deku's quirk is just a way evolved version of the Sharingan, which no one in his family will ever reach again. Which, basically, how many people are in his family, you're probably asking. Inko, Hasashi, and his brother Hashi. Now, Inko doesn't have the Sharingan, so only his father and brother do. But it's just that Deku's quirk is a way evolved version given to him by the creator of One for All. Reason being will be, told in the future. Now, anyway, basically, that is how Deku got his rinnegan. Or what we call it, the rinnegan. Now, the Sharingan. You must be wanting to know why Deku has half rinnegan and one Sharingan. Basically, like what I mean by that is like Sharingan right and rinnegan left. The reason being is because One for All is a quirk stabilizer, and it basically stabilizes quirk. Now, this is what Deku has. The rinnegan is a quirk, so that is why it stabilized the rinnegan, basically turning one of his eyes into the normal Sharingan, which Deku. He can turn the Sharingan off, but the rinnegan is like stuck there infinitely. Or actually, I guess I could have Deku be able to turn both of them off. Which, yeah, I'll have him be able to turn both his rinnegan and his Sharingan. Actually, no, not the rinnegan. I'm just gonna have to say that he has to shut his eye to turn that one off. But yeah, basically, and he lost a lot of power or just stamina and energy when his Sharingan took over his other eye. It basically unbalanced his power, so Deku can't, spam his rinnegan abilities like Pain. Because, basically, quirk stabilizer, it stabilized half of his quirk, leaving one of it unbalanced, and the other quirk that he was supposed to have, the Sharingan, which it's way weaker than the rinnegan, by the way. Yeah, now Deku, he does only have one Tomoe, by the way. He only has one Tomoe, he doesn't have the second one, he doesn't have the third one. He only has one Tomoe, and I'm not giving him the rinnegan so early on, because he has to feel something that is extremely painful just so he can unlock that. So, expect someone close to Deku to die in this What If. After he unlocks all three Tomoe, by the way. But, yeah, I'm gonna have to kill off someone that Deku likes and loves. So, the candidates, I'm just gonna tell you the candidates right now. The candidates are Hashi, Inko, and Hasashi. And there is, Deku's waifu, or, lover, or girlfriend in this What If, which it's still undecided. I could go for, the generic, relationship, which is, Deku x Uraraka, but, I'm probably not going to get into the relationship in this What If, but if I don't, then just put down what you want in the comments. So, yeah. Now, I think I've explained all of it. And the creator of One for All is the Sage of Six Paths, by the way. But anyway, I'm pretty sure I have it all down. I told you why he has one Sharingan. I told you, how he got the rinnegan. So, yeah, I'm pretty sure I have told you everything. Now, let us get into the video. Pause. Now, I was gonna, make my intro or just do my intro, but I guess I'll just do that some other time. But yeah, we continue our story off with Deku being told that he should basically become a hero. He's always wanted to be one. And also, how is he going to be scared of his quirk? Which Deku, he has been feeling that his quirk has been sucking a lot of stamina out of him. Sorry. But I wouldn't say it's taking stamina. It's just like he feels the tax from it. But yeah. So basically, Inko would see that Deku's walking around with his eye closed most of the day, which she's like, why do you only have that one eye open? Which Deku, he does have a way to shut off his rinnegan. Which Inko, she's like, it's been so long since I've seen those eye color. Which Deku has a different eye color than everyone in his family, with his being green, Hasashi and Hashi's eye color being black. So Deku's like, yeah. Basically, she's like, but back to the question, why do you have your eye closed? Which Deku's like, because it's just taxing to keep it open. And yes, Deku's Rinnegan will evolve into the Rinne Sharingan once he, unlocks his Mangekyo. But yeah. I'm just thinking of giving Deku flame control, or like Sasuke, since it was supposed to be Sasuke's Rinnegan. So yeah, I'll give Deku, flame control for Mangekyo ability, plus Susanoo and Tsukiyomi. Chill out, bro. God, stop squeaking. But anyway, so Deku's like, because the tax of having this one eye open is really, I already said tax, but he says taxing. As basically, he's like, if I keep it open, I basically get tired really fast, and I always have to go to sleep. And Deku's like, yeah, that is the reason why I always have my eye closed. Which she's like, oh. She's like, dear, are you planning to go to UA? Which Deku's like, yeah, I already have a form. And that's basically Deku, he would leave, or go up to his room. Now, but anyway, now, Deku, basically after going to his room, he would return to his, doll, which we're gonna call, I forgot what I called it. Hold on, guys. Kuran. We're gonna call it Kuran. Now, Deku can, in fact, speak from Kuran, and because I want Kuran to be a living being, we're gonna say that Deku can create artificial souls with his, I'm pretty sure it's the Ashra? No, that's the weapon path. What is that path? I forgot what it was called. But I'm gonna have Deku, give people souls, and I want Kuran to be alive at least. So I'm just gonna scrap those other paths of pain, because they won't fucking exist. But, yeah. Now, anyway, Deku, he basically, gets 2 papers. One for him and one for Kuran, since Kuran is a doll. Actually, no. He can just bring Kuran in like a fucking weapon. But, yeah, Deku just signs a paper, and basically he turns it in. With the teachers being surprised that Deku changed schools. But, yeah. Now, Deku, basically, he has been training with his brother, Hashi, by the way. Which, he's been training with, Hasashi as well. So he can, learn how to use the Sharingan. With Hasashi does have the Mangekyo Sharingan. Which he got it sometime like during his, UA years. When someone important to him died. Which that's probably going to be the main way I unlock someone's Mangekyo. But yeah. Anyway, the Uchiha curse does in fact exist in this. Just because. And if you say, no, don't have it exist at the comments of this video, then it'll already be too late. Because I already fucking posted the video. So yeah. Basically, sorry for that, but yeah, now, he would start to train with his brother Hashi and Hasashi more, and he would also spend some time learning how to use One for All from All Might. So, during the day, Deku during the day, Deku trains, and during the night, he goes off with, Kuran, perfecting his Rinnegan abilities, or his Rinnegan abilities. Training on how to use the Diva Path, and other things on, thugs. And, I would say, like, low-level villains. But, yeah, Kuran's a vigilante, although he is being controlled by Deku. Fuck it, I'm giving Kuran a fucking personality. It would help me a lot. So, yeah, Kuran, he is not a living being, but he does have a soul. I don't understand how that works, but Deku's, that one path that allows people, or Deku to rip people's souls out, I'm just going to say that he can create souls with that path. Which Deku created an artificial soul, which it took him like 5 months to do, which I'm pretty sure, hold on. Hold the fuck on, pause. Alright, I realized my mistake. I'm going to say 3 months. It took 3 months for Deku to basically, perfect the creating of soul. But anyway, yeah. So, basically it's been 8 months, if you don't know. So we're like 2 months left until UA. But yeah. Now, Deku, when he created this soul, he placed it within that little hole inside of Kuran's body. Since Kuran is made out of the Ashura path, which is basically the mechanized path. So yeah, Kuran's basically made of, metal. So basically, there's like this little opening cabinet thing on Kuran's chest, which it'll hold his soul. And if that's destroyed, then Kuran dies until, Deku decides to rebuild him and make another soul. But yeah, now Kuran's personality. I'm gonna leave that into comments because I'm just gonna say that it takes I would say it's gonna take like probably this entire part for his personality or his soul to actually kick into the robotic body. But yeah, I'll let you guys decide basically decide Kuran's personality in the comments. But yeah, you can do that. I don't really care. It's just gonna take this entire part for Kuran to actually adjust to his soul. But yeah. Now, basically after the 8 months, Deku, he would be able to go somewhere basically he's sent to a forest. No, not sent to a forest, but he goes to a forest with his papa. So Deku's walking around, as basically he would notice these footprints, which they're huge. They're like not even human footprints, which Deku's like, it's probably someone's quirk, shouldn't worry about it. As basically Inko, who yes, he's going camping with Inko, since Deku's a mama's boy, basically he's like, nah, it's nothing, ma. And she's like, right. And they would continue to walk off, getting ready to, put their little camping spot down. Now, basically, when they're walking, Deku, he would bump into this creature, which, this thing is huge. As Deku's like, oh, my bad, are you gonna use this spot for camping? Which the Nomu would turn around. And basically, it's like a small Nomu. It's tall. And I would say that it's as built as, I'm going to say Kirishima. So it's tall and built as Kirishima, but it's not like the canon Nomu. This is a weaker variant. So basically, Shigaraki's like, huh. He's like, yeah, you people can't escape after seeing this thing. He would say, Nomu, kill him. As Nomu would jump forward with incredible speed. Deku, he wouldn't even be able to follow it, as he got punched in the face and sent flying. Basically, Inko's like, my baby. Hold on, guys. So, yeah, let me do some explaining. The reason why Deku wasn't able to catch this thing, or to see how fast it was moving, is because, one, his Sharingan was deactivated, and it wasn't his normal eye. And two, Deku's eye was covered by, his other eye, was covered by an eye patch, which Inko bought him to help Deku with that taxing part of his quirk. So Deku, it would have been impossible for him to physically be able to see that, unless he built on his strength, which he did, or he activated One For All, which he didn't. So, yeah. So after being punched and Inko screaming, my baby, Deku, he would land it towards it. Actually, I'd say he hits a tree, as the tree would somewhat crack. Now, Deku, he would get up saying, okay. And he basically, Inko, she would be like, huh? And she would notice something. This Izuku isn't that fragile baby that she had for so many years. As Deku would crack his neck, and him saying that actually hurt a little bit, as he starts to bleed from his mouth and nose. As Deku, he would basically pull off his eye patch saying, it's time to see the fruits of my training. As Deku's eye would transform into, or his left eye, or his right eye, would transform into the Sharingan, and Deku's other eye would reveal the rinnegan. Now Deku's like, let's see how, strong I am in actual combat instead of beating up on low levels. As a Nomu, or Shigaraki would tell the Nomu to rush towards him, after noticing that Sharingan ability. He noticed it from the Sharingan hero. As the Nomu would rush forward, and Deku would easily dodge its punch. As the Nomu would go for more punches, and Deku's dodging all of them. Which then Shigaraki's like, damn it, why did it have to be this guy? As basically, he would ask Kurogiri what that Sharingan quirk actually does. And Kurogiri would say, from the information the Sharingan hero gave, is it has the ability to, slow down the vision of the user. And he would say somewhat be able to predict the future. Oh my God, hold on, guys. Fucking annoying. But yeah, Kurogiri would say he has and somewhat be able to predict the movements of its opponent. As Deku, he would basically be like, alright. As then basically he would dodge Nomu's punch again. As Deku would put his hand to Nomu's chest and say, almighty push. As basically he would push the Nomu. Deku trained his diva path enough to the point where he can pinpoint the one location he wants to push someone. So Deku doesn't do air or he doesn't do damage to his surroundings anymore. Every time he does the almighty push, he can now use it as a sort of beam. As Deku just pushed the Nomu, I would say far back. As Deku's like, alright. As basically he would just jump forward with his one for all showing. As Deku is using around 10 to 15% because he's buffer than Canon Deku. So with his speed, and yes, he did somewhat learn how to do the full cowling from, what his father taught him about how he can, spread energy around his body, which, hold on. But yeah, he basically learned how to do the full cowling. As Deku would rush towards the Nomu, as basically he would grab the Nomu by the leg. As Deku would fling the Nomu into another tree before saying, huh. And he's like, wow, this Sharingan is really useful. As basically the Nomu would get back up. It not having shock absorption or regeneration. It only has a speed quirk and a strength enhancement. Now, Deku's like, okay. As basically, the Nomu would rush towards Deku again. As they would start to throw punches, one after another, until Deku hears, a woman screaming, which he would turn around after, using Almighty Push on the Nomu again. Now, he would see that Shigaraki has his mom, and he's like, alright, young man. As basically, he's like, if you move one little step, as he would start to, wave his right or his fifth finger around Inko's neck. Which Deku's like, huh. As basically he starts to, grit his teeth and then starts to, plead. Which Shigaraki's like, nope. As basically he would touch on Inko's neck and Inko's would start to regenerate or disintegrate. As basically Deku would say, huh. Hold on. As Deku would start to laugh, and he's like, and that illusion ability is also kind of quite handy. As basically, when, Shigaraki actually realized what Deku's talking about, he just realizes that there was no one there. Which Inko already ran when Deku put both Shigaraki and Kurogiri under a Genjutsu. Which is another Sharingan ability. So, basically, Inko would rush over, and she would, run behind Deku. Deku saying, now, you, as he would be like, you just fucked up, or young, or whatever your name is, or something. As Deku would put his hands up, and he would say, almighty pull. As basically Shigaraki would fly forward extremely fast, with Deku grabbing his face. And Deku would be like, alright. I don't even know what Deku would say, but he would say cha or something. As he would slam Shigaraki into the floor, and the earth beneath them would, somewhat crack, since he was using, one for all. As Shigaraki, after Deku did that, Shigaraki would somewhat start to bleed from the back of his head, and grab Deku by his arm. Before Deku's arm would start to somewhat disintegrate, Deku would just basically jump back, and he would be like, huh, alright. As he says, it's time to test out some abilities. As basically Deku would say, attack. As basically after Shigaraki got up, something would hit him in the face. And another thing would hit him in the face is he would get punched in the face multiple times from something, like he doesn't even see it. With Deku saying, limbo. As 4 clones are, jumping around Shigaraki, hitting him. As Deku's like, huh. As the Nomu would turn. As the Nomu would jump forward at Deku, Deku would put his hands into a weird position before saying, planetary devastation, which is another ability that Deku, worked up. When Deku does it, it's not huge. It's basically just like a little ball. I don't even know how to say it. I'm just gonna say that it's like, the ball is like 12 feet long. Actually, no, that's too big. We're just gonna say that it's just extremely small. It's like, it's not even as big as the normal planetary disk. It's not even big, okay? It's legit small. I would say around 10 feet, 10 feet in all, on all sides, basically. So it's not even big. But yeah, that's all that Deku can muster because his eyes are starting to bleed. And he is running out of, stamina. With him saying that he should have never done that, as basically Deku is trying out basically what happens if you combine the pulling and the pushing. But yeah, after creating a mini, black hole, I'm just kidding, but after, trying out this ability that he was somewhat learning how to do from his father, basically, well, yes, I mean, Hasashi doesn't really, he has the ability to, pull meteors from the sky. Since I'm just going to say Hasashi has Madara's Rinnegan, or not Rinnegan, Hasashi has Madara Sharingan. So, yeah, he can, yank shit from the sky. If you say you can't, then, I know that that's a Rinnegan ability that Madara had, but please just roll with it. So, yeah. Now, after doing this and, testing his strength a little bit, Deku, he would say it's time to dip, ma, as he would grab Inko, and basically he would jump through this portal, as they would appear back at the house, with Deku, sitting down on the couch, as Hasashi and Hashi are like, what the hell happened? As they see the blood running from Deku's face, and basically the, burnt off skin on his arm, which Deku's like, we just got attacked by some randoms. Which Inko's, just, freaking out and holding Deku's arm, saying it, or asking if he's okay. Deku's saying he's alright, ma. Which, our boy, Hasashi, he's like a villain attack. Why would they attack you? Unless, basically, they wanted to, kill you, or just take your eyes, which, if someone were to kill Deku, and his Sharingan was activated, they can, in fact, take his eyes, implant it into themselves, and have the Sharingan abilities. That's how that works here. But yeah, Deku's like, oh, I don't even know what happened. He said after we saw this Nomu thing that he really wouldn't let us leave alive. But yeah, I bodied his ass, so don't worry about it. Which basically Hasashi's like, you bodied him, huh? It looks like you got, or I don't even know what the other guy looks like, but you look like you got fucked up. Which Deku's like, don't insult me that way, Dad. Basically Hasashi would start laughing. When Inko's saying that this is a serious thing, Deku's saying, don't worry about it, I'll fix it up real quick. Where Deku's saying, King of Hell, as basically this head would pop it will pop into existence. With Deku jumping into its mouth, laying down as it closes its mouth, and when it reopens, Deku walks out good as new. Although, he did lose a lot of stamina, so he is extremely tired though. Deku basically says that he used way too much energy today, and he can only use around 3 almighty pulls and almighty pushes, or I would say like 3 pulls and pushes. Actually, no. I'm gonna say Deku, he only has enough stamina to do use 4 of the Diva Path's abilities, meaning push and pull together. He can only use 4 of them, and to combine the pull and push ability to create the, hold on guys. Alright, shut up. But anyway. To combine the pull and push ability, it takes 2 out of the Diva Path, depending on how big it is. But yeah, Deku is somewhat limited to what he can do now, due to the large stamina drain of him actually having to learn how to use his, abilities all over again. Not abilities, but how to, it's basically just like Sasuke's Rinnegan. Deku, he doesn't have that much energy, just like Sasuke with his Rinnegan, so he has to constantly close his eyes. So, he doesn't, lose the Rinnegan. Or I wouldn't say lose it, but yeah, he has to constantly, close his eyes during the day. Just because the taxing energy drain from the Rinnegan. With Sasuke, he also has this taxing, this taxing energy drain too. So he always keeps his eye closed. So yeah, Deku and Sasuke are somewhat in the same position. So, basically during this day, or during that fight, Deku would have unlocked the second Tomoe. And it wouldn't be from the emotion, or I guess it would be somewhat from an emotion, but it was probably due from all the adrenaline, I can't even say the word. But yeah, I guess it was somewhat, excitement that drove his Sharingan to awaken. And the Sharingan can't awaken from any other emotion. It doesn't have to be some depressing ass emotion like sadness or anger. Like Sadara, she awoken her Sharingan due to happiness of finally being able to see her father. So yeah. Deku awoken his his second Tomoe from excitement because it was his first battle against the actual villains, and he was actually doing well for himself, meaning that he could probably become a really, really powerful hero someday. Wait until he sees the actual Nomu. But yeah. So, after that, Deku, he would go to sleep, and he would sleep for like 2 days straight. Not 2 days, but he would sleep for 1 day, and then he would be lazy the next day, so he would just sleep again. But yeah. Now we're going to skip 2 months in, and we are at the 10 months. We're at the end of the 10 months of training. We are now at the US, or the UA? We are now at the UA, entrance exam. With Deku walking in with an eye patch over his head, and yeah. Now, basically, our boy Hashi is walking next to him as he's like, yo, bro. And they're starting to talk. With Deku accidentally bumping into this girl, she would fly forward or fall forward, with Deku saying almighty pull. As she would, be pulled off the ground, or basically not off the ground, but before she hits the ground, she would be pulled back to her feet. Or, towards Deku, as when she's back standing, she would find herself, how do I say this? She would find herself, in Deku's arms. She's fully standing up, but Deku's just holding her after doing the almighty pull. But, yeah. So, Deku says, my apologies. Which she's like, oh, your quirk, is it like a telekinesis? Which Deku's like, nah. Just think of it as a type of gravity manipulation. And she's like, gravity? That's my quirk as well. And Deku's like, yeah. You could probably give me some pointers, because this ability is quite taxing, but yeah, I guess I'll see you if you get into UA, as they walk past. With Hashi basically being, oh, alright, and Deku's like, what? And he's like, nothing, as they would walk in, and Bakugo. They would sit next to Bakugo, which I'm pretty sure they are still in the same school, but yeah. Bakugo saying, oh, so you decided to become a hero, huh? With Deku saying, yeah. Thanks to the words of a kind old man, I decided to become a hero. Which, Bakugo's like, yeah, whatever. I'm not that sentimental type. Which, Bakugo loves romance novels. But, yeah. So, basically, they would sit down, and President Mike would give them their test, and after they take the test, they would learn about the robots. So, Deku, he's like, so, we have to fight in combat. Or fight against robots, huh? As Deku is somewhat, thinking about how he can do this. He already used one of his Diva Path abilities, so he can only use it 3 more times a day, and not to mention his other abilities. So Deku's like, I have to play this safely, or I might not be able to get into Class 1A. Damn you, you stamina drain. Which move? So, yeah. So basically, Deku, he will somewhat get over this problem during training, where he can build up his stamina, and he can use the Diva Path more, but yeah, for now, we're gonna say stamina drain. Just like Sasuke has with his rinnegan. So yeah. Basically, Deku, they would all, get up and go outside. For the ones who passed would get up, go outside, and they would get ready for their test. With basically Deku looking around as he would see that one girl, and he's like, I might have to ask her for those pointers now. They would attempt to walk over before being blocked by Ida, saying, stop trying to ruin this girl's chances. With Deku saying, oh, I wasn't going to ruin her chances, I was just going to ask her for pointers on how to use my quirk. With Ida saying, I'm sorry, sir, but you can't do that now. You might distract her from the actual test. With Deku saying, yeah, alright. As he would walk back, and he would stand in the spot he was standing before. As Deku would be like, okay. As then the match or the test would begin. With Deku rushing basically forward. Now, basically Deku's rushing forward as he would look at the first 2 robots. And Deku would be thinking to himself, should he use the Diva Path? As basically Deku, he'd be like, alright. As he would, jump forward in front of the city. Or actually I would say he would jump through a portal, basically in the middle of this of the dummy city. So Deku would look around, so he would see that there was nobody around yet. As a bunch of robots would start to rush towards Deku, Deku would say, okay, universal push. As basically Deku would throw both of his hands out in all directions, as the robots that were charging at him would immediately be blown away. Basically, I guess he would also destroy a couple of buildings as well, but there was no one around, so yeah, he gets a pass. So after using the universal push, basically I would say, All Might's like, and he's like, the boy has so much potential. Which after Deku done, yes, there is a difference. There is not really a difference between universal pull and universal push, but we're just gonna say that Almighty Push is like a weaker version than universal push. So yeah, hold on. All right, so yeah. Basically, the Almighty Pull and the Universal Pull, those are the ultimate attack. Hold on. The Almighty Push and the Universal Push. The Universal Push is basically the stronger version of Almighty Push, okay? And Universal Pull is a stronger version of Almighty Pull. So just to let you know. So after doing the Universal Push, which basically took up all of his Diva Path, he basically destroyed multiple robots, getting him around 60 villain or attack points. I don't really know what they were called, I can't remember. So after getting those points, Deku would say, I'm a fucking idiot, I can already feel the drain. I couldn't even go past, 3 city blocks. Which Deku, actually not 3, I would say like he would say that he couldn't go past 2 city blocks. As basically Deku, he would, start to stumble around. As he would close his Rinnegan eye and say that he's gonna have to rely on, hand-to-hand combat now. Which then Deku would start to rush or run forward. As when Deku gets to a couple robots, the robot would throw a punch with Deku jumping forward, as he would jump under the robot's punch, and Deku would grab something on the joint of the robot, ripping off, with Deku pulling off an armored piece. This armored piece is really skinny and extremely sharp, so Deku can use it Deku can use it, hold on.
You want this?
But yeah, Deku, he would be like, alright, I know I shouldn't be doing this, but as Deku, he would look down at this metal object with his Rinnegan, as he would say Ashura Path, as basically this metal would start to change, as it takes the form of a full-on sword. With Deku not really knowing how to use one of these, but since it might be his weapon of choice, he might as well. As Deku would jump forward, pulling or pushing this object into the robot, as Deku did reclose his eye, and he activated his Sharingan. As basically Deku, after just hitting, hold on. So fucking annoying, coming here asking for a cereal when it's like 4 fucking p.m., bro. Like, But anyway, so basically after, Deku used it, or hit the robot and pulled the sword out, the robot would somewhat explode as Deku would run past. With Deku, dodging hits, hitting the robot, and yeah. Now, the teachers would say that they would allow this since Deku, basically, he used this weapon, or he basically upgraded this weapon, and he did pull it off of a robot, so it isn't really, cheating. So Deku, he would start to slash and hit robots, as now Deku is like, wow, I can actually get used to this. As basically another robot would, jump in front of him. As Deku would jump over the robot, and as he jumps over it, he would slice the robot's hand off as the robot would start to explode. As Deku just racked up around 111 points. So yeah. Now, basically, an incident would happen. So, after Deku destroyed a couple more robots, putting him around 156 points, he would hear a scream. As he was now in a crowd of people, and a bunch of people would start to run away. As Deku would see that, they're running, so he would look over towards the 0 pointer, and he would say that he doesn't have enough energy to actually do that, or to attempt to save her. So he would, turn around. Actually, he wouldn't say attempt to save her, he would say attempt to fight that thing. As he would turn around, and he would hear the scream again. And he would turn to see that someone's trapped under the rubble beneath the robot. Which Deku's like, damn it. As basically, he'd rush forward, saying that he should have at least brought Kuran here. As basically, he would jump forward to save Uraraka. with him opening his rinnegan eye and him screaming almighty pull, as Uraraka comes flying out of the rock and into Deku's arm, as Deku's holding her with at least one of his arms as he would start to run away, with him saying, damn it, as his eye would start to bleed, his rinnegan eye in his left eye, because the Sharingan is in his right. So, Deku, he's running away, because basically, his rinnegan eye is actually starting to bleed now, which Deku's like, I hate when that happens. Uraraka looks up, and she sees that his eye is bleeding now, which she's like, I'm sorry, did a piece of rubble hit it or something? Which Deku's like, nah, it's just overuse of my quirk, but don't worry about that. Which she's like, now I understand what he meant by, his gravity manipulation quirk. Which Deku, he would, finally, he wouldn't really get far since the robot is close behind. Which Deku's like, I'm probably gonna kill myself. As Deku would turn around, putting his hand up, screaming, Ashura. As when he opens his eye, a lot of blood would start to pour out of it. Hold on. So yeah, Deku, basically, a lot of blood would start to pour out of his eye, as Uraraka would see this, and Deku's like, Ashura path. As basically his hand would transform into this huge cannon. As Deku says, railgun. As a large blast of electricity would shoot out of it, and it would hit the zero-pointer within its chest. As basically the zero-pointer, it would stop for I would say 10 seconds as Deku got away from it, as it would continue to start to move. Now, Deku's like, alright. As basically All Might would appear, hitting the robot and knocking it down. Which Deku's like, oh, shit, I forgot I had a one for all. And yes, bro, I forgot that I gave Deku one for all. So, yeah. Which, fuck, one for all is a stamina increaser too. Let's just say it's not for now. Sorry, I just need Deku's eye to be weaker so he's not overpowered in this what if. The reason why I gave Deku the same disability as Sasuke is so he can, have that energy drain. So, yeah. Basically, after, being saved by All Might, Deku's like, okay. As the white shirt that Deku did have on is now soaked in his own blood. And Uraraka is basically, after she got done throwing up, she would basically be, feeling bad. As Deku would put her down, and he would somewhat sit down, as he would turn off his Sharingan and close his Rinnegan. As Deku's like, whew, as All Might would walk over saying, young Midoriya, are you okay? That's my All Might voice, by the way. As Deku's like, yeah, All Might. As he's like, yeah, I'm sort of doing fine. Which All Might's like, why didn't you use one for all? Or, why didn't you use your strength enhancement, son? Or, kid? As All Might's generally does he's like, why didn't he use the strength enhancement that I gave him? Which Deku's like, honestly, All Might, I forgot. With All Might deadpanning, or, he deadpanned. As he's like, you forgot that you had a strength enhancement. As Deku's like, yeah, I sort of forgot. As All Might's like, huh. As he would be like, we have to talk about this later, young Midoriya. But Deku's saying, sure thing. As All Might would jump off. And basically, Uraraka, she would look at Deku, and she would begin to apologize. Which Deku's like, why are you saying sorry? And she's like, your eye, it started to bleed because of me, huh? But Deku like, nah, I was an idiot and used a really big attack during the start of the thing, or during the start of the test, and that took up most of my energy. But it was also good training. As Deku says, my eye is burning though. With her saying, oh, I'm sorry. And Deku saying, yeah, don't worry about it. As he would get up and he would begin to walk off. Which Deku, he would take his shirt off too, because it is covered in blood, and he would want to walk around wearing something bloody. As he would somewhat, wring it, as a lot of blood would come out of the shirt. And him saying, yeah, this is definitely stained. Yeah. Now, Hisashi, he would come down from the stands, as basically he would, grab his car. He says, are you guys ready to go home? With Hisashi and Deku saying, yeah. As they would be driving off into the sunset. Now, yeah. This will be the end of this movie part. Thank you for watching. This is What If Logic, or Shishu Entertainment here. I really enjoy you guys' feedback, or I just like to read your comments. But, yeah. But anyway, oh god, I almost threw up. for some reason. But anyway, I was gonna think about something. I really want to do something. I forgot what it is. I forgot what I was gonna talk about. I forgot what I was talking about, but yeah. But anyway, YouTube, this is simply logic. I'm probably gonna, I was gonna put like a video on the back of this to make it longer, but this is all the time that I have right now today. And the next part, we will be getting into other, things like the USJ attack, student thing, and all of that other stuff. But we'll probably go to the Host 2 City attack in this one. But yeah, in this part, it was just Deku training on how to use his abilities and him doing the entrance exam. Thank you for watching. My name is Shishu Entertainment, and I am out.